Public hearing?
Yeah. I just wanted to have them sign if they want.
Oh, yeah, we don't even have a sign.
It's right here, that's why I'm,
Anybody want?
I wanted to have that out there if you want to speak.
got a bet on how many people are gonna
You gotta sign
speak.
up if you want to speak.
Bueller?
All right, okay, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the public hearing as posted.
Okay, we have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the purpose of this hearing is to talk about fees for the coming year. And the process that we'll follow today is, actually we'll give staff an opportunity for comment if there's something specific. I don't see any written applications from anyone. I don't see anyone signing up to sign. So, just basically the rules, all speakers must speak into the microphone and give their name and address. All comments should be addressed to the hearing body, be relevant to the hearing, and not be of a personal nature. There's a 3-minute time limit. Avoid repetitive comments. If there's a large number of people, we want one individual to represent that group, and any unruly behavior is prohibited. And then we'll have the closing, staff comments, questions for the board, and then we'll close the hearing. Okay. So, no one has requested to speak?
Mr. Chair,
Did you look over these?
yeah.
Okay.
The fair one, yeah, those, other than that, outside of. Clerk, you're good with all of your fees?
And I just, so that everybody is aware of it, and as we've talked about, the the fairgrounds, then off of this current fee schedule, we'll go ahead and take out the racetrack, the backhoe and loader operator. You have cattle panels.
We do. The other thing that may need taken off is the walker, because we don't have any.
You don't have a walker down there.
A walker. Okay. Okay. So we'll strike them from that one. The other thing that I'd like to just make sure that everybody is aware of, and this is for the event center and the wellness complex, that the amphitheater has been moved to negotiated by contract. The same with the upper arena, the grandstands, racetrack, the elk stage and grass area, upper office spaces, and livestock holding pens.
So do we need to strike that day fee from there?
That would be the proposed change, is removing the day fee and putting by contract.
Okay, because that's what I thought we were doing.
Yep.
Okay, so everybody's good?
There's nothing else that you guys need struck off of yours that's in the route, that's no longer there.
Okay, anything else?
Well, I have a question on vendor fees. On the concession stand,
The old lion stand?
that's $1,500. What if somebody just wants to rent it for a weekend or a day or something?
We don't have a daily vendor fee at this point, but the board hasn't had that discussion in a fair board meeting.
We need to bring that up then, because I think we need a daily fee.
Well, you'll have to adjust that, just like the other one. This time, we won't make that adjustment.
Can you, as I'm looking at that though, because you have your other fees that you are setting as is by contract and negotiation, you're not adding a fee, but you would just put onto the fee schedule that this would be as negotiated by the fair board for that vendor,
So I could do a daily vendor.
a daily vendor fee.
Negotiated
Why
by
would you have
contract.
to go back? Because you're not setting up, there's not a fee there, and that would be in like That would be in like practice
That's
of
what
the
we
other
have here.
facilities.
As long as our office can get copies of all those contracts,
Yes,
because we can't track money in if we don't have copies of contracts. Currently, we have that issue.
so that would be on the backside for us to make sure that we have. But what we're saying is because we do that like everything else, because that's what we're saying for the rest of our fee schedule. If you want to use it for the fair week, it's $1,500 plus this. But we're just saying to add on to it. If you want to use it for a specific event, it would be by contract
So I can.
how we're doing it, and they would just need to contract with the fair board, because there's not a set fee. We're not even assigning a fee to it. But if you want to use it, it has to be approved.
Should be
The
negotiated by
negotiated contract rates, the contracts have to be given.
We need to have that on here.
Well, but that's why that's it.
You don't need to go back and notice it because.
I don't think you would have to go back and notice it, because you're not implementing a fee. You're saying if you want to use this, you got to go talk to the fair board.
There's not a substantial change that we have to renotice that we're talking about.
Yes.
So,
You good with that?
okay.
So on that one,
Okay,
we
so I'll
strike out the
have to read
1,500.
Well, no, your 1,500 would still sit, because I read it as
Oh, for the
1,500 plus
week.
for fair week only. If somebody wants to come in and just take fair week, that's what they're doing. It's $1,500 plus
Day-
your propane.
They-
That's fine, but that's the only thing we had listed for
Yep.
fair week, and that's why I'm
But,
concerned.
and that's where we just said, because it's not a substantial change, if somebody wants to come in and
Day rate
use it
be
next week,
negotiated.
they would just come in and negotiate with the fair board, and you'd have to approve it, have a contract signed for auditing, and that would be the fee that you come up
And I
with.
give her a copy of the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get copies of all the contracts.
Because then that way, we actually were able to determine what it's we're saying the fair board would have the discretion to do that.
Okay, so I just added daily vendor fee negotiated by contract.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. Is there any others like that that are? And then the bleacher one, we're gonna have to probably just repost and do that. I don't see a way how to.
How many times are you gonna rent those this year? Is it worth it to change it this year?
3 times this year so far.
$600. I mean,
Rented it to Marsh
Well,
Valley.
$800 to republish.
commission. That's what I say.
So you wanna just keep it the same for this year and then change it next year?
But the contract with Marsh Valley is not on a daily basis, correct?
They rented it is on a daily basis because they only used it for 7 events. But they negotiated down to, they're working at $2,500 to 7. But they have 40 kids coming this Thursday to paint arenas for us. So they're doing a service project.
There's gonna have to be some discussion on the fees, though, in the fee schedule. Legal counsel, I'm gonna ask you a question. Because it's a posted fee schedule, and we're not saying like with a concession stand, you have to go in and do that. The bleachers, if you're waiving off a fee, it would have to come to the Board of Commissioners then.
For the waiver?
For the waiver for the fee, because it's not indicated in the fee schedule. Because like with the concession stand, we're saying you're gonna go negotiate with the fair. Right now, we have it set that this is the fee, and the only person that can waive any fee in this entire schedule is us. Does that make sense?
It's not negotiable by the fair board.
Yeah, anything that's on this, that's why in the fee schedule, we need to say, like with the concession stands and those things, if you're gonna use it on a specific event, you can do that, but that has to be there, because now if somebody else comes in and says, I want the same deal that you gave Marsh Valley, technically, I don't believe that the fair board has the authorization to override a fee schedule that's approved by the Board of County Commissioners. Just like any other department wouldn't have the same.
Council's advice on that, because according to statutes, you give us control over the fair and fair board down there and the fairgrounds. But it seems like everything we want to do, we gotta come to you anyway, so.
It's an act, so think about it this way. We have given you permission to run everything in this fee schedule. And we've said, this fee schedule, you can do whatever you want inside of this fee schedule. The only board in the entire county that can waive a fee is the Board of Commissioners when we get together. That's for ambulance, that's for everything else that's here. Nobody has the right to oversee that. Now, if we set in the fee schedule, you have the right to negotiate with whatever entity is there, that's fine, but only the Board of Commissioners can waive fees. That's the problem we're running into is I don't believe that that is in the authority. You'd have the right to run the fairgrounds and the fair and all that other stuff, but that is property, and only the Board of County Commissioners can control contracts with property. With any property, real or personal property of the county.
Well, from what I understand of the statutes, that's not true. We have the authority to negotiate contracts.
No, only the Board of County Commissioners has the authorization.
And we had this same conversation the other day.
That's just the way it works.
And we're diverting away from where we need to be with the fee schedules, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's different duties for the fair board, and one, they can make exhibition contracts, and there's a enumerated list of items that they have, but.
Yes.
Yeah, right now we're on the fee schedule.
But for the
so
fee
I can address all that stuff later.
But that's what I'm saying, for the fee schedule, if it's on a fee schedule, you can't waive a fee off the fee schedule.
Correct.
It has to be, that's why we're saying,
That's why we have the public hearing, that's why we're setting them right now. And like Commissioner Tubby says, the only people that have the right to go away from these fee schedules that we're setting is this board right here.
but that's what I'm saying about like by contract with, like on the concession stand. That's why you have it set to have that, go talk to the fair board, because what are you gonna charge somebody for a family reunion, or, you know, somebody wants to have the thing open? There's no way to set a fee on that that's practical. But that's what we're saying is for like your bleachers and all that other, that real property, especially when it's leaving the property and it's not in direct use of the fair event. You're making a contract with somebody else, and you're saying somebody else, we're not going to charge somebody else as much money. Why did they get that fee schedule? Why did they get that change? And that's what I'm saying is that's why it's all property has to come back to the Board of Commissioners. It's not that, I mean, that's just how it goes. It doesn't matter at that point. It's our property. It's the property of the county that we have to have the say and say, the reason that this fee was waived was because of X, and it would apply fairly and equally to somebody else that came and wanted the same exact thing.
So that's applicable to like our 4-H groups too, if they want to have waived fees for the.
Yes.
youth
All of,
summer.
anything that is a deviation of a
It's on the
fee,
agenda for them to come in here.
Yes. And one thing that I've always required of anybody that wants a waiving of fees, they have to present before the board. I want them to come talk to us.
so, and this is the whole thing, is in this entire fee schedule, this is every single fee that the entire county charges for everything. So this is like, there's jail fees in here. And so the sheriff doesn't get to decide, even though he's the elected official over the jail, he doesn't get to decide what he is or not gonna charge somebody. This is the fee schedule that they've charged. And if the sheriff wants those fees changed, then the sheriff's office comes back and gives us that, hey, we just wanna have this done. And it's not a big deal. I mean, we do it all the time. But we just have to follow that process to make sure that that's, yeah.
Okay, any further comments?
One more question, do we need to approve it through the fair board to say the fair board's okay with it? They can't just come to you guys without us knowing.
No.
Correct,
Okay,
No.
so they need to be approved through the fair board, then I need to do them. Okay.
correct.
And most of the fee waivers like that, most of it's just housekeeping. That's what we're doing, is just saying, hey, fair board's good with this. If you guys are good with something, I don't see why most of the time in any of that, why wouldn't we be good with that? That's what you guys are saying is good, but we've got to follow that through, because why did Marsh Valley get the deal that Marsh Valley got?
Well, essentially, we didn't.
Okay, but that's not part of
But
this
that's what
public
we're saying.
hearing.
That's-
This
that's-
isn't part of the public hearing, so we gotta move on
Sorry,
with
I-
the public
yeah.
hearing here. All right, any further questions?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Have motion,
You got to close the public hearing?
close this public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we close the public hearing.
We have a motion to close this public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, let's see. Do we have a resolution on this one?
No, they'll have to do that solution first.
This will be next time?
Yep.
Okay. All right. With that being said, we are at recess for 15 minutes.